Chapter 4 The Making of a Global World, Part 2. The pre-modern world changed with the discovery of new sea routes to America. How? The pre-modern world changed with the discovery of new sea routes to America. It shrank greatly in the 16th century after European sailors found a new sea route to Asia and also successfully crossed the Western Ocean to America. Before its discovery, America had been cut off from regular contact with the rest of the world. But from the 16th century, its vast lands and abundant crops and minerals began to transform trade and lives everywhere. Precious metals, particularly silver, from the mines located in the present-day Peru and Mexico enhanced Europe's wealth and financed its trade with Asia. Population growth from the late 18th century had increased the demand for food grains in Britain. As urban centers expanded and industry grew, the demand for agricultural products went up, pushing up food grain prices. Under pressure from landed groups, the government also restricted the import of corn. Unhappy with the high food prices, industrialists and urban dwellers forced the abolition of the corn laws, after which food could be imported into Britain more cheaply than it could be produced within the country. Three dramatic changes that occurred in Western Punjab in the 19th century in the field of agriculture. On a smaller scale, some dramatic changes occurred in West Punjab in the 19th century in the field of agriculture. The canal colonies, too, inhabited along with the cultivation of cotton and rubber, expanded worldwide to feed British textile mills and rubber factories. Between 1820 and 1914, world trade have multiplied 25 to 40 times because of rapidly developed regional specialization in the production of commodities. Trade of primary products such as wheat, cotton and minerals such as coal was around 60%. What do you mean by corn laws? The laws allowing the government to restrict the import of corn were commonly known as corn laws. It was imposed by the government to restrict the import of corn. This was done under the pressure of landed groups. The scrapping of corn laws transformed the economy of Britain in a big way. After the corn laws were scrapped, food could be imported into Britain more cheaply than it could be produced within the country. British agriculture was unable to compete with imports. Vast areas of land were now left uncultivated. Thousands of men and women were thrown out of work. They flocked to the cities or migrated overseas. As food prices fell, consumption in Britain rose. Some of this dramatic change, though on a smaller scale, occurred closer home in West Punjab. Here, the British Indian government built a network of irrigation canals to transform semi-desert waste into fertile agricultural lands that could grow wheat and cotton for export. The canal colonies, as the areas irrigated by the new canals were called, were settled by peasants from other parts of Punjab. A similar story can be told for cotton, the cultivation of which expanded worldwide to feed British textile mills or rubber. Indeed, so rapidly did regional specialization in the production of commodities develop that between 1920 and 1914, world trade is estimated to have multiplied 25 to 40 times. Nearly 60% of this trade comprised primary products, that is, agriculture products such as wheat and cotton, and minerals such as coal. technology. What was the role of technology in all this? The railways, steamships, the telegraph, for example, were important inventions without which we cannot imagine the transformed 19th century world. But technological advances were often the result of larger social, political, and economic factors. For example, colonization stimulated new investments and improvements in transport. Faster railways, lighter wagons, and larger ships helped to move food more cheaply or quickly from faraway farms to final markets. The trade in meat offers a good example of this connected process. Till the 1870s, animals were shipped live from America to Europe and then slaughtered when they arrived there. But live animals took up a lot of ship space. Many also died in voyage, fell ill or lost weight, or became unfit to eat. Meat was hence an expensive luxury beyond the reach of the European poor. High prices in turn kept demand and production down until the development of a new technology, namely refrigerated ships, which enabled the transport of perishable foods over long distances. Now animals were slaughtered for food at the starting point in America, Australia or New Zealand and then transported to Europe as frozen meat. This reduced shipping costs and lowered meat prices in Europe. The poor in Europe could now consume a more varied diet. To the earlier monotony of bread and potatoes, many, though not all, could now add meat, butter and eggs to their diet. Better living conditions promoted social peace within the country and support for imperialism abroad.